Now we've had another Premier League weekend, some interesting games and performances, and a lot of argument and contentious decisions that really are making a mockery of the game. In my view, but my view is less important than our guest, John Giles, one of the great players, and as many of our listeners acknowledge in the mails they send us, and most people in Ireland do, one of the great judges of the game we've ever had anywhere. John, thank you for joining us today. It has been a contentious weekend. The worst and most audacious mistake came in Manchester City's match against Fulham. It was the first goal, which is huge in any match, and it was scored by Ake, their fullback, but Manuel Akanji, was 5 yards offside. He was close, he was in the 6-yard box. He was interfering with play, clearly, because he was dictating what the goalkeeper might do. He jumped over the ball, let it run through, his legs didn't touch it, back of the net. Now, he was clearly offside. He was clearly interfering with play, but VAR didn't think so. They argued and have elaborated subsequently that they didn't, in their view, Akanji wasn't interfering with play. John, you saw this. I saw this goal. There's no question in my mind at all, not a scintilla of doubt, that this was a bad decision. And Silva, Fulham's very good manager, said he was incredulous. He couldn't believe that the goal had been allowed to stand. What did you think?
Well, I would agree with Marco Silva in the way it's gone, what happened, Eamon. But I think what's happening, Eamon, is they're changing the rules.
Yeah.
You know, what they're saying now, if the fella in is offside, doesn't interfere with the ball, it's okay. But what they're not taking into consideration, when somebody's in that position, the goalkeeper has to look out for him. And that's why the goalkeeper couldn't make the dive that he would have wanted to make from the header.
Yeah.
You know? It's just madness. What it makes VAR mad.
Yes.
And it's not VAR's fault. VAR is only a thing that's supposed to help the referees, Eamon. But if they're changing the rules like they are, it makes it okay as far as they're concerned.
Yeah.
It's like the rule they introduced last year. Remember about the offside, the Manchester United match, where Rashford was involved in it. And he was a mile offside, but the rule was, if he didn't touch the ball, it could go ahead.
Yeah.
You know, that's what they're doing with the rules.
Yeah. Now, let's go back to the common sense. Since you and I began playing football a very long time ago, decades ago, more decades than I want to say, the game hasn't changed. The principle of offside hasn't changed. If you're interfering with play, then you're offside. Clearly, let's get this right. Akanji was interfering with play. He didn't touch the ball, but he was interfering with play for the reason you said. He was taking the goalkeeper's attention, and the goalkeeper couldn't make the save in case Akanji got a touch.
Exactly.
Right.
Yes.
So, first goal, you go away to Manchester City. You're Fulham, a relatively small club, very good coach, Silva, and they're 1 down, and it was blatant, and it was wrong. Don't want to spend too much time on it, but City are top of the league. They've got 9 points from their 3 games. Has to be pointed out, I think, John, that the 3 games have involved Fulham, Burnley and Wolves, I think, and they haven't faced up to any real challenge yet in terms of their own strengths, which are immense. And they're top of the league with Spurs. Just let's go on to Spurs, John. They went to Burnley, where City had been. Went to Burnley and gave Burnley a right hide in. This fella, Postecoglou, Ange Postecoglou, who was the manager of Celtic, he's come down. He's an Aussie. He's come down to London. I think we both watched his first game. It was against Manchester United at home. They were really nervous and pretty vulnerable looking in the first 20, 25 minutes. Then they took fire, beat United handy. And not many people go to Burnley, John, and score 5 goals.
No, well, I think he's done a really good job, Eamon, so far. I mean, it is early on in the season. But, like, anybody in the Premier League to win away 5. It was good. I'm doing well.
Yes.
And he's got Son back on track now. As you know, he scored a hat-trick.
Yeah.
And he hasn't scored a goal this season.
Yeah.
I think he's been missing Harry Kane. But this guy's a new guy. And what I see of him anyway, I like. They seem to be positive in what they're doing. They're impressive the way they play. And as you say, going to Burnley is never an easy game.
No.
But they won extremely well. I mean, they were very, very good.
And he does want to play football. I mean, he's mad about playing out from the back, which I think is suicide sometimes. Especially that first game against United. I thought, this guy's crazy. But they keep doing it, and there's a kind of confidence that's spread through the team. And I note in his post-match interview, he said, we're just getting started. It's really good because Spurs are a great club with a great history, but they haven't really played football, have they, for quite some time?
They haven't done anything for years, Eamon, really, in relation with it. You have the Harry Kane situation going on for a while.
Yeah.
And again, the chairman has to get a grip of it, Eamon.
Yeah.
You know, he hasn't helped the situation at all. I mean, he doesn't give the managers any freedom, and he's had some great managers in there.
Yeah, he has Pochettino,
Pochettino, and great Italian managers. Like he doesn't give them what they need.
No.
Now, whether he gives this man whatever he needs remains to be seen.
Yeah, well, if
he's got Son back on track anyway. He got a hat trick, as you know.
Yeah.
Against it, but they were very impressive, and what he seems to want, I'd say, would be very, very good for the Spurs crowd. I think it's what they need.
It's the kind of football they like to see. It's the kind of football that historically Spurs were always associated with. Now we're talking about the Premier League, and on Saturday, I think we both watched young Evan Ferguson, 18 years old. He's a Northside lad. In fact, one of our listeners sent me an email to say he is, in fact, from Bettystown, which is in Meath. And his father was from Bettystown. His father was a very good League of Ireland player. Evan himself went and he played for Bows, made his debut for Bows when he was 15. But he has really emerged this season. He scored a hat-trick for Brighton against Newcastle on Saturday evening. He looks incredibly exciting, doesn't he, John?
He looks a really good lad. I mean, he's a huge lad. He's about 6'2" or 3.
Yeah, at least.
I know he comes from a footballing family.
Yes.
I think Liam used to play with his granddad.
That's right. Yeah, Liam said that. Yeah.
So he comes from a real soccer background, and he looks a lovely lad. I mean, I was at a do there last year, about 12 months ago, and for the FEI, and he was receiving some award, and I met him.
Yeah,
I didn't know him at that stage, but he was very, very respectful to me.
Yes,
which is always very nice for a young lad.
Yeah,
and he seems to have, that love for football about him. When you come from a family like that, it's soaked in the game. Like he's the real McCoy. I mean, He's great attitude, and he's big lad. He's quick, and he can control the ball, good header of the ball. It's great to see, and it's great to see for Irish football.
Yes, it is. Sure. It is. It's gone back to the times when Liam Brady was discovered, Frank Stapleton, David Leary, all those great players that we used to produce from the Dublin and District Schoolboy League. He got his goals, and that's huge. The second one was a really beautiful goal. The third was a deflection. And the first one showed his opportunism in the box when the goalkeeper spilled the ball. The Newcastle goalkeeper spilled the ball. He was pounced on it. That's the fox in the box, as it were. But his general play, John, he finds space. He makes intelligent runs. He's not all over the place. He's not charging up and down or barging people out of the way. He's a real sort of natural, and he has a natural sense of where to be, which because you played with Dennis Law, you played against Jimmy Greaves. There is something a striker has to have, and it's an instinct, and he's got it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he has it's an instinct or a knowledge, Eamon, whatever way you want to take it. That positional sense to get into the right position at the right time, which is hugely. If any player in any position, if they don't have good positional sense, Eamon, they're not going to be good in that position.
No,
positional sense is getting at the far post at the right time, getting through at the right time. And he definitely has that, which is a good knowledge of the game, probably coming from his own family.
The first goal, for example, Pope, the Newcastle goalkeeper, a very good goalkeeper, but he's having a bit of a bad time. He had a bad time on Saturday night. But he spilled the ball. It was a terrific shot from Billy Gilmore, a young lad that was at Chelsea, who's a very good footballer as well.
Yeah.
He hit a really powerful shot, which the goalkeeper couldn't hold on to. He spilled it.
Yes.
He spilled it. But the thing about Evan Ferguson was, he, as you've always coached and said right through the years, a striker has to be an optimist and a defender has to be a pessimist. The idea that a defender has to always think, what if, and I better get safe. A striker has to think a different way. What if the keeper makes a mistake? And
yes, exactly.
Yeah. And he made that mistake, and Evan was there. That's a very good
explanation of it, Eamon. The mentality of the defender in relation to players.
Yeah.
They fear the worst. Defenders fear the worst. Attackers fear the best.
Yeah.
And he has that, as you've explained there. Very good.
And he has a very good coach, an Italian, Roberto Di Zerbi. And Brighton keep getting these really good young players. Di Zerbi was very complimentary about Evan afterwards, not just about his ability, but about his character and the way he, carries himself. And he thought, and he's not a big talker in the sense of a hype merchant. He said, this lad is very special and he's going to go a long way. And it's good for Ireland as well. He's got to come over this weekend. I say Stephen Kenny was thinking, why didn't you save a couple for us? But,
he will do. He will do, Eamon. But it was a great win for Brighton. I mean, as you said there about the manager, what they've done over the years. I think the last match they didn't play so well, but they were playing against Newcastle. Which is one of the top teams.
Yeah, and difficult team to beat.
Beat them 3-1. Beat them well,
Yeah.
It's amazing. Amazing stuff.
Now, John, yesterday's game, let's go to the Arsenal-Manchester United game. In the modern history of the game, since the beginning of the Premier League, these two clubs have often fought it out, most notably during the Arsene Wenger, Alex Ferguson era, when there was some fierce stuff going on between Patrick Vieira, Roy Keane, and many, many great players played in that fixture, both sides. So it has a history. I thought yesterday's game, John, was disappointing in terms of the tempo, the intensity, until the very end.
Yeah, it was playing around the middle of the field, Eamon, and going backwards and going both sides doing it. Like instead of getting at it or trying to get at it. Yeah, it was a bit disappointing until the end, as you said.
Yeah, Arsenal, John, let me ask you, they didn't press United in the first half at all. And they're the home team. And United aren't exactly boosting confidence and instead of Arsenal going and pressing, they were letting them walk the ball out.
Yeah, but they would only allow them walk out, Eamon, to the halfway line. And I think that's what's happened to the game, a lot. In other words, if the team is trying to get forward as much as they possibly can, that's the way it should be. But in lots of games, it's not. They're not really looking forward. They want to keep possession of the ball. So they get to the halfway line, and that's when you need to do something well to get forward again.
Yeah.
They pass it back. So it's possession all the time, and sometimes very hard to get at. And most of the teams are doing it, Eamon.
Yeah.
And that's why there's so many passes and, keeping possession, which is fine. But you've got to take chances as well when you try to get into the other half of the field. And that's what I found watching it. Manchester United were doing the same. You get to the halfway line, next thing they turn back and it's nearly back to the goalkeeper. And both teams were doing that. So it was, it's not good to watch at all. And I don't think it's good for the teams to play that way.
Yeah.
But in the end, because of the goals scored, obviously, and they needed to be scored, it turned out to be okay. And I think Arsenal deserved to win it in the end.
Yeah, I mean, Marcus Rashford gave United the lead. good goal. He's playing where he should be playing, I think, Johnny. We talked about this before. Neither of us, and Liam, who was with us at the time, thought he was centre forward up the middle. But playing on the left side of a front three is better for him. It suits him more, and that's where his goal came from.
Yeah.
You know,
he took it well. He's a really top-class player, Eamon.
Yeah.
I was a bit disappointed. I think it was last week. He was playing up front, and as we didn't, he didn't like it, so he wasn't going to do it. But anyway, I thought Arsenal deserved to win it in the end.
Yes.
Eamon.
Yeah, there was a VAR issue in this game as well. In fact, there was 2 VAR issues. One was when it was 1-1, they were in sort of overtime or getting to overtime, and Manchester United got a goal. Garnacho, who'd come on as a sub, as a young lad, it was a borderline decision. I think he was offside, but it was certainly it would have been a game-changing goal because they were actually in overtime, if I remember correctly. That was one incident. I don't know what you thought of that, John. It was there's nothing much you can.
Well, I think the VAR showed him that he was just offside.
Yeah, right.
That's it. And I mean, they must be honest. I know you're going to the other incident. But
yes.
After the match, Ten Hag was going mad about.
Yeah.
He was pulling things out like that, and then I think he pulled. He didn't pull out one that I think you're going to talk about, which was the Wan-Bissaka and Casemiro on Havertz for the penalty.
That's the one I'm going to talk about. It's where Havertz was, he's not had a good game, John. I've seen this lad play for Chelsea now, for Arsenal. I don't know what he does, but he works hard apparently. But anyway, it wasn't Havertz actually who made the run at them. It was the winger, Martinelli, I think. And he got between the 2 United players. Wan-Bissaka was one of them. And I think it was the midfield player,
Casemiro. I think it was
Casemiro, who was the other one. Now he got through the gap, and it looked like maybe he fell down anyway. And on the pitch, the referee Anthony Taylor, who I think is one of the best referees in the Premier League, he gave a penalty.
Yeah.
VAR asked him to go and have another look at it, and he went to the sideline. He had a look at it. And he decided that he'd made a mistake. Fair play to him.
Yeah.
I thought it was borderline, John. I wasn't sure. What did you think of the penalty?
I thought it was a penalty, Eamon, to be honest. But I just mentioned Ten Hag because he mentioned a couple of things that went against him in the thing.
Yeah.
He never mentioned that one. And he's not the only manager that does that, Eamon. When it's against them, they go mad on it. When it's for them, they never mentioned the situation. I thought it was a pen. But, in the end, they got away with that. And then Arsenal got away with their one. And the two VARs. So if you take it as 1-1 on that, I thought Arsenal deserved to win it.
Yes.
Overall, over the 90 minutes, I thought they deserved to win it.
Yeah, well, a bizarre situation arose, John. I mean, first of all, the referee put up 8 minutes overtime. And then he actually played about 11 minutes overtime. This overtime thing is actually spoiling games, but that's another day's conversation. But Arsenal did put the pressure on, and it was Declan Rice who got the winning goal. Now, it took a deflection, but he was there. And there's been a conversation about Declan Rice, which is started by Graham Souness. He said he couldn't be considered a great player until he scored some more goals and had some more assists. Roy Keane weighed in, but Keane has a history with Declan, and Keane is he's not a very impressive pundit, to be honest, but he doesn't really have the knowledge or the interest, it seems, yesterday even. Now, he scored a winning goal. What do you make of Declan Rice?
Well, I think he's a very, very good player, Eamon. Now, I'll just say briefly, I thought he made a meal of getting the goal the other day.
Well, yeah, it's not your scene, that kind of thing. But he did. He's a young
lad.
The first
goal he scored, Eamon. He doesn't score many goals for West Ham. And actually, it was the the second goal, and then Jesus finished up with a great goal to make it 3-1 for them. Now, he mightn't have done that if Rice hadn't scored.
Exactly.
But Rice was interviewed after that. But, he took the goal all right. We got a deflection as well.
Yeah, I know I did. I said that.
But I think he should be scoring more. He didn't score a lot of goals for West Ham. I think he's a very, very good player at what he does.
Yeah. But what he does is hugely important, John. He's a holding...
Well, of course, he's a midfield player, Eamon. He doesn't get on the ball and spread it round. He doesn't make goals. He doesn't score goals. But he covers the ground well, very, very good. He's a very, very good player, good midfield player in what he does. He covers the ground well and that.
He distributes the ball well, John. I dispute that. He distributes the ball very well with either foot. I think he's really good player.
He does when he's in the position to when he receives it, Eamon.
Yeah.
But my complaint about, I think he's a very good player at what he does. But I think he should be on the ball a lot more. He should be making more passes. He should be making more goals. If you want to be regarded as a great player, I think that's what actually Graham Souness was saying there. He said there's three things as a midfield player. It's your positional sense, it's scoring goals and making goals.
Yes.
And he felt that he's got one of them, which is covering the ground. And I must say, I have to agree with him there.
Yeah.
But what he does very well. But I would expect more from him as a great player.
Right.
To be doing some other things as well as what he does. I'm asking for a lot, but I must be honest. I thought he made a meal of the goal that he scored the other day.
Yeah.
The first one he scored. but that's only a personal thing. But I think he's a very, very good player.
He's a young lad.
I don't think he's up there with the greats.
No, he's not up there with the greats at the moment. And I know that you never ran to the crowd and threw yourself at them.
Well, I'm not bothered about that.
No, I know you. I know, yeah. But there is something that surprised me about you, because I challenged you on this when we were having a drink one night. I said, how many goals did you score for Leeds when you were?
Well, I would surprise you.
And you did surprise you. You amazed me, actually. Go on, tell our listeners.
I scored 115 goals for Leeds.
Really?
I scored. I think it was 150 goals altogether.
That's for Leeds and United.
And West Brom.
And West Brom. That's amazing.
But I scored 115 goals for Leeds. And Billy Bremner scored 115 goals for Leeds.
Right. Well,
so that's a lot of goals from midfield players, to do it over a period of time.
Yeah. So it shot my argument down in flames on the night.
I'm not having an argument against you. Obviously, I'm giving you my opinion, Declan.
Yeah.
I think he's a very, very good player, Eamon.
Right.
Is he one of the great players? Does he do enough for me in what needs to be done in the middle of the field? No.
But he's a very good acquisition for Arsenal.
And yes. I have him in the team. I have him in the team anytime.
Right.
Anytime. But I was surprised at him making such a meal about his goal the other day, Eamon, to be honest.
Yeah, but he
anyway, that's only a personal thing. It's not. I think he's a good lad.
Yes.
I think he's a very, very good player and should be a good player.
Yeah.
But, could he do more? I think so.
Yes. Okay. And maybe he will with a better team than the West Ham team he played in. Now, John, I had an email from a listener about Aston Villa. He's an Aston Villa fan. He said, and they've had some really good results this season, made a good start. The coach is Unai Emery, who is a very good coach. He's won the Europa League 4 times, and he has changed them up. And I think you and I both agree, when we've seen them this year, they've been very good. So I just want to say to that listener, unfortunately, they were playing Liverpool this week, and Liverpool played really well, John. And Nunez and Mo Salah is a pretty sort of deadly strike force to have, isn't it?
Yeah. They got off to a bad start, Eamon, as well. Cash, I think he scored 2 for them the week before, the fullback, OG'd early on. So Liverpool were up and at it straight away, and they didn't give Villa a chance to recover, Eamon, to be quite honest. They were well outplayed on the day. Yeah,
and Diaz is the other. I mean, he's a really good player. Now, and there's this new player they bought in, Sabosli, whose name I can barely pronounce, was very impressive as well in the game. I want to ask you, though, about the Mo Salah situation and the possibility. They turned down 150 million bid, we're told, from a Saudi club. And the feeling is that Mo Salah has said he doesn't want to leave. The feeling is that the Saudis will up that to 200 million. Now, the Fenway Sports, an American sports company, they own this. It's a business for them. It would be a massive blow, wouldn't it, John, if the best player in England at the moment, maybe one of the best players in Europe or anywhere, was to go to that Saudi circus?
It would be a blow, Eamon. But if it was 200 million for the club, I was thinking about it a bit. I think I would let him go.
Right.
With 200 million, Eamon, you could buy two top-class players, at least two top players, in my opinion, or one really, really great player. He's 31 now. Yeah. He's brilliant. I love Salah.
Yeah.
But if you're looking at the economics of it, I mean, he is 31.
Yeah.
You could be buying a player for, who's 21, 22, 23.
Or 18 if his name was Evan Ferguson.
Well, exactly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of money there to go for the future. I mean, a lot of clubs, what I don't like is a lot of clubs sell players, Eamon, when they don't have enough players anyway, and they have to take the money for certain reasons.
Yeah.
Liverpool don't have to take the money, but if they come in with 200 million, there's a lot you can do, and they've got good players in over the years, including Salah.
Yeah.
When the money is there, but 200 million if they can, I think they would pay that. It's big money.
Yeah.
To replace him, Eamon.
Yeah.
I'd be inclined if I was in the club. I'd be inclined to take the money, Eamon.
Right.
And scout around for it and get two players in. And one really, really top-class player in the world with that type of money.
Right. Well, I don't think he's replaceable, but I take your general point. I mean, I actually think he's the best player in the world at the moment. I mean, he makes goals. He made a goal during the week. Brilliant pass for Nunez. It was a killer goal. It won the match. Nunez came on again. He's really come good, John. After having a tough enough start for a striker, because if a striker's not scoring goals, they feel they're not alive, which he is now, and that all could be well that ends well. But I think it would be the end of this Liverpool team and the end of Klopp if he goes. I
don't think so, Eamon.
No,
I love Salah.
I know you do, yeah.
I'd love him in the team, but I'm just looking at the overall time and the way a club is run. I wouldn't let Salah go for 20 million.
No, I understand that. Yeah. I mean, the thing is, I do. 200 million.
200 million, Eamon.
Yeah.
You can buy players. You can buy two players, at least two really top class players. At 22, 23, 24. They are there around the world, Eamon.
Okay, well, as soon as you think they are.
There's lads coming into it now who are good players. Eamon.
Right, well, Chelsea have spent $1 billion signing these lads that you say these young lads are coming into it, John, and they lost 1-0 at home to Forest.
Yeah, but Eamon, I'd have to interrupt you there.
Yeah.
Chelsea are a mess.
Yes. Yeah.
Liverpool are not a mess.
No.
Liverpool are not going to buy 12, 13, 14 players like Chelsea have done.
No.
So I wouldn't relate those two.
Okay. I was in jest, really, more than anything. But I wanted to ask you...
They made a mess of it. But again, I love Salah. But I'm just looking at the future of a club, Eamon, and I'm looking at it from a distance because I'm not a Liverpool supporter. But I think the economics here, it's most unusual. It's not like most other clubs, Eamon, where you sell somebody for 40 million,
Yeah.
And you don't have the money to replace him even.
Yeah.
Like in Liverpool's case, I think they've made a good few buys recently. Salah is brilliant. But 200 million, Eamon, and you've got the world to go at.
Yeah.
Whether it be Italy or somewhere, 200 million to replace him.
Yeah, it'd be great. You get the two players, and you can have a night out as well. With the small change.
But I'm only saying that I love Salah. If I was a Liverpool supporter, I'd hate to see him go. But I'm looking at the long term. And to be fair to Liverpool, whoever's doing it, Eamon, They have bought well over the years.
Yes. Well, they've lost
and the few players now that have been injured are coming in.
Yeah.
Like even the lad you mentioned the other day, he started badly, but, they're coming in. They're really, really good. I think they're going to be top-class players. They got the midfield player in, haven't they?
Yeah.
Now?
Yeah.
And he looks good.
Szoboszlai looks a very, very, very good player indeed.
But that's. I think there'll be a game going on at Liverpool. I mean, Salah wouldn't like to let the supporters down.
Yes,
and certainly the directors or the owners would be the same. They'd be in a bad state if they let Salah go.
Yeah,
and Salah would be in a bad state with the Liverpool possible if he did go.
Yeah.
Now I wouldn't be surprised if Salah, as a professional footballer, did want to go.
Right, and I should point out to our listeners that the transfer window here in the UK and in Europe indeed is closed, but the transfer window in Saudi Arabia has another couple of weeks to go. I hear what you're saying. I think these boys have decided to strike at the heart of sport because they know how much we love it. They've destroyed golf, or they're in the process of destroying it. In fact, they have really attacked golf, destroyed its heart and soul, and they're up to the same trick in football. But everyone is free to make their own mind up about.
How much? Sorry, I'm to interrupt. How much is Salah being offered that we know at the moment?
I think he's been offered. His personal terms are $1.5 million. I think it's dollars a week, which is an awful lot of money for someone who is 31 to be offered. And, these boys, money's no object to them.
No.
And they've made that clear in their endeavours to destroy golf by splitting it. And it's a very complicated subject to which there are no easy answers.
No, there's no answers to it. But all I'm saying, he's a professional footballer, and you have a limited spell, as you know, in the game to make your money. Now, I know the lads are well paid nowadays, but in his position, he's 31. And it'd be very, very difficult as a professional footballer to turn down that type of money. Despite the fact that he would love Liverpool, he's done his stuff at Liverpool, he's done brilliantly for Liverpool.
Yeah,
but he's by the time he's 40, he's going to be well finished playing football.
Yeah, of course, and he's got the rest of his life to.
He's got the rest of his life to live. I'm only making that position as an ex-professional footballer.
Yeah,
that when the day comes, the day comes. And I've seen over the years, and you've seen over the years, some great players, when they get beyond it. And the home crowd turn on them.
Yeah.
It can be a very, very hard, cruel game. It can be.
Yes,
so, I think
hear you.
We'll see how it happens with Salah. If Liverpool decide to take the money, then it's up to Salah to go.
Right.
If he wants to go.
If he wants to go, yeah. No, and it's life-changing money for your family, for your grandchildren, for your great-grandchildren even. Just a final question, John. I know a lot of our Leeds fans listen in, John, and I want to put it to you that they're not doing great in the Championship. They're in the bottom half. They're nowhere near the relegation zone. What's going on there?
Well, I think it's been going on for a long time, Eamon. They had owners in, I don't know where they came from, whether it was Americans or something. They'd no love or respect for the club.
No.
The great teams that Leeds had, I'm quite honest, I don't know who the owners are.
Yeah.
I've never had an invitation to Leeds.
Yeah, no, you can't get tickets anymore.
For the last 12 years. I don't particularly want to go. Anyway.
Yeah.
But there's, all the lads that played, Eddie Gray's the only one, and Eddie sort of works there.
Yes.
But once these lads came in, the past is gone.
Yes.
They don't care for Leeds. The supporters do. The supporters love them and want to do it.
Yes.
But these fellas that came in are not supporters. These are money men. These want to make money from Leeds, and I think they've sold now. Once it went down, they sold the club. So it's not being run with the love and respect that the supporters have for the club, unfortunately. That's the sad case at Leeds.
Another of your former clubs, Manchester United, John, just to end on this, because I find it rather sad. And Manchester United ended the match yesterday with Johnny Evans and Maguire as their central defensive pairings. They've been trying to get very hard to get rid of Maguire, including stripping the club captaincy from him. Johnny Evans left in 2015 to go to Leicester, and he came back on a free transfer. And this is the point. The Glazers, the owners of the club, said they wanted to sell it, and the price they put on it was 5 to 6 billion, 5 billion first, just to get people interested. They had 2 bidders for the club. Now they want 10 billion for it. Old Trafford is falling apart by all accounts, and their credible accounts. It does show, doesn't it, how the people who have grabbed these assets in the Premier League, how much they don't care. I mean, the guy, Sheikh Mansour, who owns Manchester City and bought them about 15 years ago or something, or maybe 12 years ago, he's seen them play twice. The first time he bought them, he watched that match, and the next time he watched them was in the Champions League final in May. So that's where we're at. People buying football clubs, they're no interested in football.
Well, there's a big difference there, though, Eamon.
There is.
City, as far as the supporters are concerned, are happy.
Yes.
They've won the league 5 times, or whatever it is. They won the Champions League. They won that. Man U are not winning anything.
No, they're not. No.
They're a disaster.
Yeah.
To be quite honest, if those owners were doing what the City owners did, there'd be no complaint at all.
No, exactly.
Right, but they're money men. They're out there to make money, and they're making a dreadful mess of a great club. And that's what's happened. They don't care about the club or the supporters.
No.
Don't forget, they were one of the clubs that were going to sell a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
You know, they're American owners, and all they're interested in is what cash can we make from the club. They don't care about the supporters. They have no love for Manchester United that the supporters have. It's a dreadful situation. Dreadful.
To finally end this podcast, which has been very enjoyable for me, I hope to God it is for listeners, they were never any different, the owners, were they? They were always bums. But these guys are really rich bums. And the guys that we played for didn't have a pot to piss in most of them.
There was a time, Eamon, in the old days when there were no owners.
Yeah, no, that's right. They weren't allowed to.
There were no owners.
Yeah.
I know at West Brom, when I went to West Brom, you couldn't buy more than one share.
Yes, that's right.
Eamon. So you had the directors. They had directors were on the board of directors. Yeah. But they weren't owners.
No, they couldn't make money out of football, so any money they gave you, they had to be paying it out of their own pocket.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah,
that was what it was in the old days. So nobody could own the club. Nobody could own Manchester United.
Right. Okay.
And that all started when the 2 Irish lads were in.
Yeah. I won't say any more about Manchester United, but it's a bad...
No, and to be fair to them, Eamon, I don't think they were trying to make money. I think they loved what they were doing.
Yeah.
But what happened then was that they got American owners in. And these guys, as you said, they haven't been to a match, or they don't go to matches. They're not interested. Are they going to sell the club? When they get the right price, they will. What's happening on the field at the moment, they couldn't care less. And you got 60,000 every week going to Manchester United, 60,000 or more. Genuine supporters. Yeah. The fathers went, the grandfathers went, the great-grandfathers went, and they love the club.
Yeah.
They don't care about this situation.
No, not at all. Okay, John, it's around 70,000, I think, or over 70,000 at Manchester United, but the principle you're making is sound, and it's absolutely right, and it's very, very sad. Thanks to John, of course,